I Am Rich Already, written and published by I Am Audiobooks. You don't become rich someday. You claim it now. Wealth begins with identity, and the richest people know this secret. Abundance starts in the mind. Say it, feel it, believe it, because you are rich already. Lesson 1. Say it until you feel it. I am rich. The words I am rich hold transformative power that extends far beyond their simple syllables. When you first speak these words, they might feel foreign, perhaps even fraudulent. Your mind may instantly object, pointing to your bank account, bills, or financial obligations as evidence to the contrary. This resistance is not just normal. It's the first sign that you're beginning to challenge the deeply embedded programming that has kept you thinking small about money. Every time you declare I am rich, you're engaging in a profound neurological exercise. Your brain, which cannot distinguish between deeply imagined experiences and reality, begins creating new neural pathways that align with this declaration. This isn't mere positive thinking. It's the deliberate reconstruction of your financial identity at the cellular level. Research in neuroplasticity shows that repeated thoughts and declarations literally reshape our brain's physical structure, creating new connections that support our chosen beliefs. The present tense nature of I am rich is crucial. When you say I will be rich or I want to be rich, you're actually affirming the current absence of wealth. The universe, and more importantly, your subconscious mind, responds to present moment declarations. This is why wealthy people rarely speak about becoming rich. They simply are. Their identity is so firmly rooted in abundance that questioning it would seem as absurd as questioning whether they're human. The initial discomfort you feel when declaring your wealth is a sign of cognitive dissonance, the mental friction between your current self-image and the new identity you're claiming. This discomfort is not your enemy. It's the sensation of your old limiting beliefs being challenged and dissolved. Each time you push through this discomfort and declare your wealth anyway, you're building psychological muscle that will eventually make abundance your default state. Your declaration of wealth must extend beyond mere financial terms. When you say I am rich, you're acknowledging the abundance that already exists in your life, your relationships, experiences, opportunities, and capabilities. This holistic view of wealth creates a foundation of truth that makes your affirmation more believable to your subconscious mind. You're not lying to yourself. You're expanding your definition of richness to include all forms of abundance. The practice of declaring I am rich requires consistency and conviction. Start your day with this declaration. Speak it when you face financial decisions. Whisper it when doubt creeps in. Your voice carries vibrational energy that influences your cellular structure and the energy field around you. The more you align your voice, thoughts, and feelings with this declaration, the more rapidly your external reality will shift to match your internal conviction. This declaration is not about denying current financial challenges or avoiding practical money management. Instead, it's about establishing a dominant frequency of abundance that influences how you perceive and handle your financial affairs. A person who knows they are rich makes different decisions than someone operating from a scarcity mindset. They see opportunities where others see obstacles. They invest where others hoard. They create where others consume. Understanding that I am rich is not just an affirmation, but a statement of universal truth, allows you to claim it with authentic power. The universe is abundant. It's constantly expanding, creating, and multiplying. As a conscious expression of this universe, abundance is your natural state. By declaring, I am rich, you're not creating something new. You're acknowledging what has always been true about your essential nature. Let this declaration become your anchor in the storm of financial fluctuations. Let it be the first thought you embrace each morning and the last conviction you hold each night. Your persistence in maintaining this declaration, especially when external evidence seems to contradict it, is what transforms it from a mere statement into your lived reality. Lesson 2. The abundance code hidden in your thoughts. Every moment of your life, a sophisticated program runs silently in the background of your mind, determining your relationship with wealth. This internal coding system, built from years of experiences, observations, and inherited beliefs, operates like software, executing commands that shape your financial reality. What makes this system so powerful is its invisibility. Most people never realize they're running on outdated programming. Think of your earliest money memories. Perhaps you overheard your parents arguing about bills, witnessed a relative's financial struggle, or absorbed subtle messages about wealth being scarce or difficult to obtain. These experiences wrote the initial lines of code in your abundance programming. Like any software, this code executes perfectly, delivering exactly the results it was written to produce, whether those results serve you or not. The wealthy operate on a fundamentally different mental algorithm. Their internal code contains instructions that automatically spot opportunities, expect positive outcomes, and maintain unwavering faith in the abundance of resources. This isn't about positive thinking. It's about operating system optimization. When a wealthy person encounters a financial setback, their abundance code automatically runs subroutines for solution, finding rather than defaulting to panic or scarcity responses. Your current financial situation reflects your abundance code with remarkable accuracy. If you frequently experience money anxiety, find yourself saying, "I can't afford it," or feel resentful toward those with more resources. These are outputs of your scarcity programming. The good news is that, like any code, these mental algorithms can be rewritten. The first step in reprogramming is consciousness, becoming aware of the automatic thoughts that run when you encounter money situations. Notice how you react when bills arrive, when investment opportunities present themselves, or when you're considering a purchase. These reactions reveal your current programming. A scarcity code might generate immediate stress responses, while an abundance code produces curiosity and strategic thinking. The wealth masters throughout history understood this principle intuitively. They knew that their internal programming determined their external results. Carnegie, Rockefeller, and modern billionaires don't just think differently about money. They operate on entirely different mental software. Their abundance code automatically executes protocols for wealth expansion, opportunity recognition, and resource multiplication. To rewrite your own abundance code, you must first accept that your current programming was installed by others: parents, society, media, and early experiences. This means you can install new programming of your choice. Begin by examining your automatic responses to financial situations and consciously choosing different thought patterns. When a bill arrives, instead of running the anxiety subroutine, execute gratitude for the service received and confidence in your ability to handle it. Your new abundance code should include automatic protocols for recognizing abundance in all forms, not just monetary. Train your mind to register the wealth of knowledge, relationships, opportunities, and resources constantly available to you. This broader definition of wealth creates more entry points for abundance in your life and strengthens your new programming. Like any software update, new code requires consistent implementation before it becomes the default operating system. Each time you catch yourself running old scarcity programs, consciously override them with your new abundance code. Eventually, these new thought patterns will become your automatic response, creating a mental environment where wealth naturally grows and multiplies. The most powerful wealth creators understand that their internal abundance code determines their external results. They invest as much time in optimizing their mental programming as they do in traditional wealth building activities. Your journey to lasting abundance begins with recognizing and rewriting the hidden code that's been running your financial life. Lesson 3. Reclaiming your birthright to wealth. Throughout human history, abundance has been our natural state. Look at nature itself. Trees produce thousands more seeds than needed. Flowers bloom in spectacular excess, and the universe continues to expand infinitely. This limitless abundance is the true nature of existence. Yet somewhere along our human journey, we lost touch with this fundamental truth. Our ancestors lived in intimate connection with the cycles of abundance in nature. They understood that wealth wasn't just about accumulation, but about the continuous flow of resources, energy, and value. This wisdom became clouded as societies developed systems of artificial scarcity, creating hierarchies and limitations that separated people from their innate connection to abundance. These manufactured beliefs about scarcity have been passed down through generations, becoming deeply embedded in our collective consciousness. Children who grew up hearing, "We can't afford that," or "Money doesn't grow on trees," inherited these limiting beliefs, unknowingly carrying forward patterns of lack that weren't truly theirs to bear. These inherited patterns became the invisible ceiling limiting their financial potential. The truth is that abundance is your natural birthright. Just as you were born with a capacity to breathe, love, and create, you were born with an innate ability to experience and generate wealth. This isn't about returning to some mythical past, but about reconnecting with the fundamental abundance that exists within you right now. Your task isn't to become abundant. It's to remember that you already are. This remembering begins with recognizing the value that you inherently possess. Every breath you take, every idea you generate, every moment of presence you bring to the world is an expression of wealth. Your very existence adds value to the universal equation of abundance. When you truly understand this, you begin to see that wealth isn't something to chase, but something to express. The spiritual dimension of abundance consciousness goes beyond material considerations. It touches the deepest parts of who you are and your connection to the infinite resources of the universe. This isn't about religious belief, but about recognizing the unlimited potential that exists within and around you. When you align with this truth, you naturally begin to attract and generate wealth in all its forms. Breaking free from generational patterns of lack requires conscious effort and dedication. Start by examining the stories about wealth and scarcity that you inherited. Question every assumption about limitations and the way things are. Replace these old narratives with new ones that align with your natural state of abundance. This isn't about denying reality, but about choosing which reality you wish to create. Your relationship with abundance is unique to you, yet connected to the universal flow of wealth. Begin each day by acknowledging your birthright to prosperity. Feel the abundance that already exists within you. Let this feeling inform your choices, guide your actions, and shape your expectations. As you do this consistently, you'll notice the external world beginning to reflect your internal state of abundance. This reclamation process isn't just personal. It's part of a larger shift in consciousness. As you step into your natural state of abundance, you become a living example for others. Your transformed relationship with wealth creates ripples that affect your family, community, and the collective consciousness. This is how we begin to heal the widespread illusion of scarcity, one awakened soul at a time. Remember, claiming your birthright to wealth isn't about greed or excess. It's about aligning with the natural state of abundance that allows you to fulfill your highest purpose and contribute your greatest gifts to the world. When you operate from this place of inherent abundance, you become a channel through which universal wealth flows freely, benefiting not just yourself, but all of creation. Lesson 4. You become what you affirm. Your identity shapes every financial decision you make, every opportunity you pursue or ignore, and every dollar that flows into or out of your life. The profound truth is that you don't attract what you want. You attract what you believe you are. This identity-based approach to wealth creation transcends traditional goal, setting, and positive thinking because it operates at the core of who you believe yourself to be. When you declare, "I am rich," you're not merely stating an aspiration. You're claiming an identity. This identity carries with it specific behaviors, thought patterns, and energy that naturally align with wealth. A rich person thinks, acts, and makes decisions differently than someone who identifies as struggling or middle class. They navigate the same world but see entirely different landscapes of possibility. Your current financial reality likely reflects the identity you've been embodying until now. If you've identified as someone who can never get ahead or always struggles with money, your actions and choices have unconsciously aligned to maintain that self. Image. The good news is that identity is fluid and can be consciously reshaped through consistent affirmation and aligned action. The key to transformation lies in closing the gap between your current identity and your desired wealthy identity. This isn't about pretending or fake. It till you make its superficiality. It's about genuine internal shifts that reflect outward. When you begin making decisions as your wealthy self would make them, when you start viewing challenges through the lens of abundance, and when you naturally gravitate toward wealth-building opportunities, you're no longer forcing a change. You're expressing your authentic new identity. Maintaining identity congruence during challenges is perhaps the most crucial aspect of this transformation. Anyone can feel wealthy when things are going well. The real test comes when facing financial setbacks or limitations. Your wealthy identity must remain stable even when external circumstances suggest otherwise. This requires developing an unshakable core belief in your abundant nature that transcends temporary conditions. The process of identity evolution isn't linear. You'll experience moments of profound alignment where everything flows effortlessly, followed by periods of doubt where your old identity tries to reassert itself. This is normal and even necessary for growth. Each time you choose to realign with your wealthy identity during these challenges, you strengthen its foundation in your psyche. Your new identity will manifest first in subtle ways, perhaps in how you carry yourself, how you speak about money, or the types of conversations you engage in. You might notice yourself naturally drawn to different environments, people, or opportunities that align with your wealthy identity. These small shifts are significant indicators that your internal transformation is taking root and beginning to reshape your external reality. As your wealthy identity strengthens, you'll find yourself making different choices without conscious effort. You'll instinctively invest rather than spend, look for opportunities rather than obstacles, and approach financial decisions from a position of empowerment rather than fear. This is the power of identity-based transformation. It changes not just what you do, but who you are at your core. Your wealthy identity isn't a distant future version of yourself. It's available to you right now. Every moment presents an opportunity to think, feel, and act from this identity. The more consistently you embody these qualities, the more naturally they become part of who you are. Your affirmations aren't just words. Their declarations aren't just words. They're declarations of being that shape your reality through the power of identity alignment. Lesson 5. Wealth exists now, not later. Most people live in a perpetual state of when. When I get that promotion, when I save more money, when I start that business, then I'll be wealthy. This mindset creates a dangerous illusion that wealth is always somewhere in the future, always just out of reach. The truth is that wealth exists in the present moment, and your ability to recognize and experience it now determines your capacity to attract more of it. Consider how many forms of wealth you're currently experiencing, but perhaps not acknowledging. The air you breathe is abundant and free. Your body's incredible ability to heal itself represents immense biological wealth. The knowledge you've accumulated, the relationships you've built, the skills you've mastered. These are all forms of wealth that exist right now. When you begin to inventory your present wealth in all its forms, you start to shift from a consciousness of lack to one of abundance. Your perception shapes your reality more powerfully than your circumstances. Two people can have identical financial situations, yet experience them entirely differently based on their perspective. The person who sees wealth everywhere naturally attracts more opportunities because their mind is tuned to abundance frequencies. They notice the small windfalls, the unexpected discounts, the networking opportunities, and the creative solutions that the scarcity-minded person misses entirely. Training yourself to experience wealth in real time requires a fundamental shift in how you process your daily experiences. Start by asking yourself throughout the day, how is wealth showing up for me right now? Maybe it's in the form of a comfortable bed, access to clean water, or the ability to learn new things online. Perhaps it's in the smile of a loved one, the satisfaction of solving a problem, or the pleasure of enjoying a well-prepared meal. These aren't just pleasant experiences. They are genuine expressions of wealth that exist in your life right now. The present moment is where all power resides. When you push wealth into the future, you simultaneously push away your power to create it. By practicing present, moment wealth consciousness, you align yourself with the natural flow of abundance. This alignment creates a magnetic effect, drawing more opportunities and resources toward you because you're operating from a place of having rather than wanting. One powerful practice is to start your day by acknowledging the wealth that already exists in your life. Before checking your phone or bank account, take inventory of the non-financial wealth surrounding you. Feel the abundance of your breath, appreciate the wealth of possibilities in the new day, recognize the rich network of support you have. This morning, ritual sets the tone for seeing wealth throughout your day rather than pursuing it as something external to acquire. Wealth is a state of being before it becomes a state of having. When you fully embody the truth that wealth exists now, your actions naturally align with this reality. You make decisions from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. You invest in opportunities rather than hoarding resources. You share freely because you trust in the continuous flow of wealth in your life. Your current financial situation may not match your desired level of material wealth, but that doesn't diminish the wealth that exists in your life right now. By acknowledging and appreciating the many forms of wealth present in this moment, you create the internal conditions necessary for external abundance to grow. The universe responds not to what you want, but to what you are being right now. Be wealthy in consciousness first, and watch as your external reality begins to mirror your internal state of abundance. Lesson 6. Scarcity is a lie you can unlearn. The most pervasive and dangerous lie we've been taught is that there isn't enough to go around. This scarcity mindset has been passed down through generations, reinforced by media narratives, and cemented by personal experiences of lack. But here's the transformative truth. Scarcity is a learned response, not an inherent reality. Just as we learn to believe in limitation, we can consciously unlearn it. Our brains developed scarcity thinking as a survival mechanism during times when resources were genuinely limited. This ancient programming served our ancestors well when food was scarce and shelter was uncertain. However, in today's world of unprecedented abundance and opportunity, this same protective mechanism has become our greatest obstacle to experiencing wealth. It's like wearing a winter coat in summer. What once protected us now holds us back. The media plays a crucial role in maintaining our collective scarcity consciousness. Headlines about economic downturns, resource shortages, and financial crises bombard U.S. daily. These messages trigger our primitive fear responses, reinforcing the belief that we must compete and hoard to survive. This artificial scarcity mindset creates real scarcity in our lives through our reactive behaviors and defensive financial decisions. Breaking free from scarcity thinking requires a systematic approach to reprogramming our neural pathways. When you catch yourself in thoughts like "I can't afford it" or "there's never enough," pause and examine these thoughts with curiosity rather than judgment. These moments of awareness are your opportunities to choose a different response. Instead of automatically accepting the scarcity thought, question its validity in your current reality. The unlearning process accelerates when we consciously create environments that support abundant thinking. This means curating your physical and digital spaces to reflect prosperity rather than lack. Remove yourself from conversations focused on limitation. Unfollow social media accounts that trigger scarcity anxiety. Surround yourself with people who operate from abundance mindsets and who challenge your scarcity-based assumptions. Your brain requires new evidence to override old scarcity programming. Start collecting proof of abundance in your daily life. Notice the abundance of air you breathe, the countless cells working perfectly in your body, the infinite information available at your fingertips, the boundless creative potential within you. These observations begin to crack the foundation of scarcity beliefs. Replace scarcity triggers with abundance responses through consistent practice. When you feel the familiar pull of not enough, redirect your attention to examples of abundance in your immediate experience. Train yourself to see opportunities rather than limitations. Every time you successfully shift from a scarcity reaction to an abundance response, you're rewiring your neural pathways. Understanding that scarcity is learned helps release the shame and frustration many feel about their limiting beliefs. You're not broken or flawed for having these thoughts. You simply absorb the programming of your environment. This recognition frees you to approach the unlearning process with compassion and patience. The deepest form of unlearning happens at the identity level. Rather than fighting individual scarcity thoughts, focus on building an abundant self-image. See yourself as someone who naturally attracts and generates abundance. As this new identity takes root, scarcity thinking becomes incompatible with who you know yourself to be. The truth is that abundance surrounds us in every moment. The universe operates on principles of expansion and multiplication. Nature doesn't count or hoard its resources. It expresses itself fully and continuously regenerates. By unlearning scarcity, you're not creating something new. You're returning to your natural state of alignment with universal abundance. Lesson 7. Feel abundant even when broke. The greatest test of abundance consciousness comes when your bank account doesn't match your inner vision. This apparent contradiction between financial reality and spiritual truth creates the perfect laboratory for mastering true wealth consciousness. Your circumstances may be temporarily limited, but your capacity for experiencing abundance never is. Consider how a seed contains the complete blueprint of a mighty tree, even before it sprouts. Similarly, your consciousness holds the complete pattern of abundance, regardless of current conditions. When you grasp this truth deeply, you begin to operate from a different paradigm altogether. Instead of letting your bank balance dictate your sense of wealth, you let your inner wealth consciousness inform how you perceive and interact with money. This spiritual technology becomes especially powerful during financial challenges. When bills pile up or income drops, most people contract into fear and scarcity. But this is precisely when you must expand your abundance awareness. Start by consciously choosing which reality you'll align with: the temporary outer circumstance or the permanent inner truth of abundance. This choice point determines whether challenges become crushing defeats or transformative opportunities. The practice of abundance during lean times requires emotional maturity and spiritual discipline. Begin by accepting your current financial situation without resistance while simultaneously holding space for the greater abundance you know is your truth. This dual awareness allows you to take practical action from a centered place rather than panic or denial. Pay attention to how abundance shows up in non-monetary forms. The generosity of friends, unexpected opportunities, moments of joy, or creative solutions to problems. Gratitude becomes your most potent tool during these times. Not the superficial gratitude of positive thinking, but a deep appreciation for life's continuous provision, even when it comes through unexpected channels. Notice how the universe constantly supports you through both visible and invisible means. Perhaps someone shares a meal, offers helpful advice, or provides emotional support when needed. These are all forms of wealth that exist independently of money. Your abundant response to limitation also creates powerful ripple effects. When you maintain generosity of spirit despite temporary scarcity, you demonstrate unshakable abundance consciousness to yourself and others. Share your resources, however modest. Offer encouragement to others facing similar challenges. Look for ways to be of service. These actions reinforce that you are a channel for abundance rather than its ultimate source or final destination. This is also the time to examine your relationship with money itself. Are you giving it too much power to determine your sense of worth and well-being? Money is meant to be an instrument of exchange, not the measure of your value or the source of your security. When you release money from these inflated roles, you free yourself to experience abundance in all its forms while working practically to improve your financial situation. Some of history's most profound creators and change makers produced their greatest works during periods of material limitation. They refused to let outer circumstances diminish their inner sense of abundance and possibility. Let their examples inspire you to maintain your abundance consciousness even when external evidence seems to contradict it. Your unwavering commitment to seeing and expressing abundance, especially during challenges, builds the foundation for sustainable material prosperity. Your capacity to feel abundant while broke isn't about denial or magical thinking. It's about accessing a deeper truth that transcends temporary conditions. This practice develops spiritual muscles that serve you in all circumstances. By choosing abundance consciousness regardless of external factors, you demonstrate that true wealth begins in the mind and heart before manifesting in the material world. This is the alchemy that transforms apparent limitation into unlimited possibility. Lesson 8. Affirm daily, receive continuously. The rhythmic nature of abundance creation mirrors the natural cycles we see all around us. Just as the sun rises each day without fail, your daily affirmations of wealth consciousness create a dependable rhythm that shapes your reality. This consistent practice of affirming abundance isn't merely about repetition. It's about establishing a perpetual state of receptivity that attracts wealth in all its forms. Think of your daily affirmations as planting seeds in fertile soil. Each declaration of abundance sends roots deeper into your consciousness, strengthening your belief system and creating new pathways for wealth to flow. The key lies not in the occasional burst of enthusiasm, but in the steady, unwavering commitment to affirming your wealthy nature every single day, regardless of external circumstances. Your morning routine becomes particularly crucial in this practice. The first thoughts you entertain upon waking set the tone for your entire day. When you begin each morning by affirming your abundant nature, you activate a frequency of attraction that remains active throughout your daily experiences. This is why wealthy people often speak of their morning rituals with such reverence. They understand the power of programming their minds for abundance before engaging with the world. The continuous nature of receiving stems from maintaining an open channel through persistent affirmation. Many people struggle with abundance because they treat it as a sporadic event rather than a constant state of being. By affirming daily, you're not just speaking words. You're maintaining an energetic frequency that naturally attracts more of what you're declaring. This is why some people seem to effortlessly attract opportunities, while others struggle. They've established a continuous state of receptivity through consistent practice. Your affirmations must evolve as your abundance consciousness grows. What began as simple statements like "I am rich" naturally expands into more nuanced declarations that reflect your deepening understanding of wealth. You might find yourself spontaneously affirming specific aspects of abundance that resonate with your current experience or aspirations. This organic evolution of your affirmations indicates your growing alignment with genuine wealth consciousness. The practice of continuous receiving requires releasing the need to control how abundance manifests. Many people block their reception of wealth by having rigid expectations about its form or timing. Through daily affirmations, you learn to trust in the natural flow of abundance while maintaining your clear intention. This balance between focused intention and open receptivity creates the ideal conditions for wealth to manifest in unexpected and delightful ways. Consider how nature demonstrates this principle. A tree doesn't strain to grow. It simply maintains its position, reaching toward the sun while remaining deeply rooted. Through its consistent presence and natural state of being, it receives everything it needs to thrive. Your daily affirmations similarly position you in a state of natural receiving, where abundance flows to and through you without resistance. The compound effect of daily affirmations creates a momentum that becomes increasingly powerful over time. Each day's practice builds upon the previous day's foundation, strengthening your abundance consciousness exponentially. This accumulation of positive energy and belief eventually reaches a tipping point where your wealthy nature becomes your default state of being, requiring less conscious effort to maintain. Your daily affirmations serve as a reminder of your true abundant nature, rather than an attempt to create something new. They align you with the wealth that already exists within and around you. By maintaining this practice consistently, you establish yourself as a continuous receiver of abundance, naturally attracting and experiencing wealth in all its magnificent forms. Lesson 9. The language of the rich mind. The words we speak shape the reality we experience, and nowhere is this more evident than in the language patterns of those who embody true abundance. The rich mind speaks a distinct dialect, one that opens doors, creates possibilities, and magnetizes opportunities. This isn't about superficial positive thinking. It's about fundamentally altering the linguistic architecture of your consciousness. When you listen carefully to those who consistently attract and maintain wealth, you'll notice they rarely engage in complaint-based dialogue. Their conversations center on possibilities, solutions, and opportunities. They discuss what can be done rather than what cannot. This subtle shift in language programming creates an entirely different framework for experiencing reality. While others might say, "I can't afford it," the wealthy mind automatically asks, "How can I make this happen?" Your brain processes every word you speak as a command, an instruction for how to interpret and interact with reality. When you say, "I'm broke," your neural pathways activate patterns associated with lack, limitation, and scarcity. The wealthy mind understands this mechanism and consciously chooses language that programs abundance. Instead of "I'm broke," they might say, "I'm in transition," or "I'm reallocating my resources." These aren't mere euphemisms. They're powerful redirections of mental energy. The language of abundance is also characterized by ownership and agency. Notice how the wealthy rarely use passive voice when discussing financial matters. They don't say "it happened to me," but rather "I created this outcome." This linguistic ownership of both successes and setbacks places them firmly in the driver's seat of their financial journey. Every sentence becomes an affirmation of their power to shape circumstances rather than be shaped by them. Rich language is also notably free from emergency terms and panic-based expressions. While others might describe financial challenges as disasters or catastrophes, the wealthy mind uses calm, strategic language: adjustment period, learning opportunity, or market correction. This linguistic composure helps maintain the emotional stability necessary for clear financial thinking and decision-making. Time references in wealthy language patterns are particularly revealing. The rich mind speaks predominantly in the present and near future tense, avoiding the distant future's vagueness. Rather than "someday I'll be wealthy," they declare, "I am building wealth now." This immediate temporal positioning creates urgency and action rather than perpetual postponement. Another crucial aspect of wealthy language is its expansive nature. While scarcity-based language deals in finite resources and limited possibilities, abundance language always implies more, and replaces or both replaces either, and create replaces compete for. This linguistic abundance reflects a fundamental understanding that wealth isn't a zero-sum game. The wealthy mind also employs question-based language that opens possibilities rather than statement-based language that closes them. Instead of declaring "that's impossible," they ask "what would make this possible?" This questioning approach keeps the mind engaged in solution, finding rather than problem, dwelling. It maintains the creative tension necessary for wealth expansion. Your vocabulary is your software for processing reality. By consciously adopting the language patterns of abundance, you're essentially installing a new operating system for wealth creation. Start paying attention to your financial vocabulary. Record yourself talking about money and listen for limiting language patterns. Then systematically replace them with the empowering linguistics of abundance. Your wealth consciousness expresses itself through every word you speak. Each conversation is either reinforcing abundance or programming scarcity. The wealthy mind understands this and treats language as a sacred tool for reality creation. As you master the language of abundance, you'll find your external circumstances beginning to mirror your internal dialogue, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of prosperity. Lesson 10. Abundance is your new identity. Your identity shapes every decision, action, and outcome in your life. When you fully step into abundance as your core identity, you no longer need to chase wealth. You naturally attract and create it through your way of being. This transformation goes far beyond positive thinking or temporary mindset shifts. It's about fundamentally rewiring who you know yourself to be. Think of how a wealthy person moves through the world. They don't constantly question whether they deserve abundance or if they're worthy of prosperity. Their wealth identity is so integrated that it feels as natural as breathing. They don't need external validation or proof of their abundance, because it radiates from within. This same unwavering sense of abundance is available to you the moment you claim it as your truth. The key is understanding that your current identity was learned and can be consciously reshaped. Every time you caught subtle messages about money being scarce, hard to obtain, or somehow wrong, you internalize those beliefs into your identity. But just as you learn those limitations, you can unlearn them and install new core beliefs that align with abundance. This isn't about denying your current financial reality. It's about choosing which inner reality will shape your future. Your new abundance identity requires consistent reinforcement through your thoughts, words, and actions. When you encounter a financial decision, pause and ask, how would someone who knows they are abundantly wealthy approach this? When you speak about money, use language that reflects your prosperous nature. When you walk into a room, carry yourself with the quiet confidence of someone who is deeply secure in their wealth. This identity shift may feel uncomfortable at first, like wearing clothes that don't quite fit. Your old scarcity programming might try to reject it as fake or presumptuous. But remember that all identities felt foreign before they became familiar. The discomfort is simply your brain creating new neural pathways to support your abundant nature. Each time you choose to embody wealth consciousness, despite internal resistance, you strengthen these pathways. Your abundance identity must be unconditional, not dependent on your bank balance, circumstances, or external validation. This means maintaining your wealthy self-concept even when facing financial challenges. In fact, those moments are opportunities to deepen your commitment to your true abundant nature. Instead of letting temporary conditions shake your core identity, use them to demonstrate that your wealth consciousness transcends current situations. The world will begin to respond differently to you as your abundance identity takes root. You'll notice more opportunities, resources, and supportive people naturally gravitating toward you. This isn't magical thinking. It's the result of operating from an expanded set of possibilities rather than contracted scarcity. Your new identity allows you to recognize and act on potential that was always present but previously invisible to your scarcity, filtered perception. This identity transformation ripples out to impact every area of your life. As you embody abundance, you'll find yourself making choices that reflect greater self-worth in your relationships, career, health, and personal growth. You'll stop settling for less than you deserve and start creating at a higher level. Most importantly, you'll experience the deep peace that comes from being fully aligned with your abundant true nature. You are already rich. This isn't an affirmation or a future goal. It's the truth of who you are. Your task now is to strip away everything that obscures this reality and live from your authentic, abundant identity. Let every thought, word, and action emerge from this unshakable knowing. Your wealth is not something to achieve. It's something to reveal through fully becoming who you already are.